Today, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and former governors Nasir El-Rufai and Aminu Tambuwa all visited former President Muhammadu Buhari. Is this the beginning of the coalition they've been talking about? And hundreds of River State citizens and residents trooped to the street in Port Harcourt in protest of the state of emergency rule. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimale here in Abuja. Let's begin in Kaduna State, where former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former governors of Kaduna and Sokoto, Nasir El-Rufai and Aminu Tambuwa all visited former President Muhammadu Buhari at his residence in Kaduna. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has described the visit as a post-Salah visit to the former president. Also in their entourage were the former governor of Imo State, Achike Udenwa, former Benue State Governor Gabriel Suzwama, and former Adamawa State Governor Jubrila Bindau, as well as former Minister of Communication Malam Isa Pantami.
That's all. To friends and relatives, Salah greetings. Don't I have a right to be friends to anybody again, whether political or non-political? They are all my friends. All what I can say is that, there is an attempt by, the major political parties to come together and form a strong opposition against it.
This is part of the visit?
No.
All right. It's hinted that there is an intention to form a coalition and coming together of major political opposition parties. El-Rufai is a member of the SDP now since he moved from the APC. Atiku Abubakar and some of the others who are visiting are of the People's Democratic Party. Both El-Rufai, Atiku, Tambuwa, all of them observed the Friday Juma prayers in Kaduna after the visit. Well, so much more to talk about now. My guest tonight is perhaps one of the most controversial political figures in Nigeria today. I'm speaking on the state of the nation, insecurity in Nigeria, also of other issues. But first, let's serve you with some of the political roundup stories.
Ahead of the 2027 general elections, stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress APC Abia State chapter have agreed to come under one umbrella as a united family to deliver President Bola Tinubu and wrest power from the Governor Alex Oti-led Labour Party. Addressing journalists in Abuja after a stakeholders meeting, a former governor of Abia State, Senator Ojuzo Kalu, says the consensus of the Southeast over 2027 is that the zone will do very well in supporting President Tinubu and the party's governorship candidate. The meeting was attended by the APC National Welfare Secretary, Donatus Wamba, Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Nkiruka Onyejocha, and former Commissioner of Finance, Obinna Oriako, among others.
President Tinubu, he was not very happy on the situation of Abia. And I gave him my word that we are going to work hard. We are going to work hard to bring back Abia to be very strong union like any other state.
Some concerned legal practitioners have expressed deep concern over the appointment of Justice I.N. Nzugu as the acting chief judge of Imo State. The lawyers, under the banner of Lawyers for Civil Liberty, have described the appointment as unconstitutional as it undermines the entire structure of judicial order. They pointed out that it was done in disregard of Section 271, subsection 4 of the 1999 Constitution as amended.
The person that was appointed is actually the fourth in line, that is the fourth most senior, which is actually against the provisions of the Constitution, is against the traditions of the judiciary, which is the tradition of hierarchy.
Hundreds of indigenous people and residents of Idemili North local government areas have endorsed Governor Chukwuma Soludo for a second term. The endorsement forms, signed by some indigents of the area, were presented to the Deputy Governor on behalf of Governor Chukwuma Soludo. At another event, Governor Soludo received members of the All Progressives Congress (APC) and the People's Democratic Party (PDP) into the All Progressives Grand Alliance. The defectors pledged their allegiance to APGA and to Governor Soludo ahead of the November polls. While welcoming them into the party, Governor Soludo assured them of equal membership.
One state, one people, one agenda. That's our philosophy. What I see is one indivisible Anambra State. One people, one agenda, and that agenda is the transformation and development of Anambra State.
The governor of Edo State, Monday Okpebolo, says he is open to constructive criticism, which he believes will only help him improve in his governance of the state. The governor, who disclosed this while responding to the leadership of labor unions, who lauded him over recent actions taken regarding the welfare of workers in the state, notes that his administration is delivering good governance as a result of keying into President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda.
There you have it. You've been served with your political roundup stories. Let me take you to the streets of Port Harcourt, where hundreds of women in their numbers trooped to the streets and flooded the Aba Road area of Port Harcourt, demanding the reinstatement of the suspended governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, and his deputy, Ms. Ngozi Aldo. The protest, which began along the major road and advanced to the River State Government House, featured women and protesters carrying placards with inscriptions such as "Bring back Fubara, save our democracy, is a lot different from Rivers State, and God of justice, arise for Rivers State," chanting songs of solidarity. And the women described themselves as mothers and wives, and appealing to President Bola Tinubu to lift the suspension on Governor Fubara and reinstate all democratic institutions in the state.
Our democratically elected governor. The people voted for him. They exercised their God-given franchise. They voted for him. You cannot come and suspend a constitutionally elected governor. Bring back Siminalayi Fubara Joseph is our simple assignment.
All right, well, those are the words from some of the leaders of the protesters earlier today in Port Harcourt, River State. Well, let's move to our major conversation tonight, largely about insecurity in the northeastern region of the country and the state of the nation. You remember when the governor of Borno State warned that the jihadists and the terrorist group Boko Haram is making what it looks like a comeback after its fighters have staged a series of attacks and seized control of some parts of the state. Governor Babangana Zulum called for more military assistance for soldiers fighting the insurgency. He specifically asked for more presence of the military in the area, and I asked the Nigerian government not to downplay what has become a major fear, but the government at the federal level is saying that security in the country has improved in the last 18 months. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has described as misleading a recent story wherein he was quoted as having said that the recent security concerns expressed by the governor of Borno State, Babangana Zulum, should be ignored. Governor Zulum has said that the Islamist group Boko Haram has renewed its attacks and kidnappings in the state, would lead to pushback from security forces who have recently diverted most of their energies in the northwestern region of the country. Let me remind you of what Governor Zulum said.
We are also appealing to the federal government of Nigeria and the Nigerian military to do something about the northeast, because right now we don't have single attack helicopter in Borno State. these attack helicopters were taken away from Borno State to the southwest and northwestern states. We are not saying no. While trying to maintain law and order in northwestern state, they should also not be unmindful of the northeastern state. We have the federal government has procured 3 armed drones from Turkey to the northeast. All these things were taken away to northwest. Virtually, the northeast is now standing alone. No attention will be receiving from the ministers of defense in terms of equipment and others. While we are saying we appreciate them, this is time that they should also give us a listening ear. Otherwise, the security situation in Borno State has started deteriorating. And it is our own duty to inform the federal government of the dangers inherent in what is recently been happening in the state.
Let's take the conversation forward now. Let's speak to those who are right in the front line, politically speaking, in that state. I'm being joined by the senator representing Borno South in the National Assembly, Senator Ali Ndume. He's live for us here in the studio. Thanks so much, Senator, for joining us tonight on the program.
Thank you, but
I appreciate it.
Why did you say I'm controversial in the first place?
You are controversial, aren't you?
How?
You say a lot of things that raise a lot of controversy. That's how to describe people who are in your ilk. We say things and talk controversial.
Have I ever come here to say something that is not true?
No, that is true doesn't mean that it's not controversial.
Okay.
So being controversial
Anyway.
doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It could be a good thing sometimes.
I don't know about that.
But you know you're a very stubborn person. Right from time. From
What do you mean stubborn? You are going another...
Or maybe I should say notorious because you are a fighter.
Oh, no, that is worse than stubborn now.
Okay, let's begin the conversation. Before I go into the issue of security, suddenly Kaduna has become some kind of mecca now, where you see politicians now visiting former President Buhari. And interestingly, the visit of Atiku Abubakar, Nasir Arufai, Aminu Tambuwa, how politically, what does this speak to you?
Well, honestly, I'll be there too. Because, see, whether you like it or not, Buhari is one of the former head of states. And the frequent visit to him is not a new thing. Because where he was before now, immediately after he handed over to Tinubu, President Tinubu, you remember he moved straight to Daura, and he has been there. So, and our people, or generally Nigerians, like, Obasanjo receives quite a lot. Babangida, the same thing. The only person that you don't see his visit to him publicized is Jonathan. But all other former presidents, Nigerians give them that courtesy of going to visit them during especially sessions like this. So it's not a new thing. I'm planning to visit Buhari too because I'm close to him. It's Kaduna here, in fact.
For what purpose would you be visiting him?
Personal. Everybody is saying personal. It's courtesy.
But we know it's political.
For me and him?
Yeah, I mean, most of the politicians that visit...
My relationship with Buhari has gone beyond politics.
Are you related?
No.
You have a personal relationship with
Yes.
him?
Long one. The same thing with President Tinubu.
Okay, we'll get to that point because there are those who believe that recently you have been saying things that is against the Tinubu's government.
No, that is those people that don't know our relationship.
Let me ask you, what political value or relevance does Buhari have presently in today's Nigeria?
The fact that he was a former president, twice president of this country, and an elder in the country, all former presidents. Abdul Salami, that's the other one I forgot. Mostly if you visit Mina, you visit Abdul Salami too. So people go there to pay respect. People go to Abeokuta to pay respect to Obasanjo.
But if there is an election today, do you think that Buhari could actually carry any kind a huge number of votes?
Even if it is not huge, Buhari, especially in the north, you can't just say Buhari is nobody.
Does he still have the court following that Buhari had from 2007, 2011, 2015, 2019?
No, that has diminished naturally, because normally it's different thing when you're in power or before you're, the expectation. And then after spending like the period he spent 8 years, of course, his popularity and everything will diminish. It's natural, but you can't just write him off. No, especially with the masses, especially with the northern masses. The followership of Buhari has been occultic. You can't explain. Try it. If Buhari is coming here now, you will see people rushing. If they tell their people, especially those in the vegetable market there also, that Buhari is coming here, they will all rush. Yeah.
But in the north, the average person is called the Talakawas.
Yes.
And it's been said that Buhari resonates with the Talakawas.
Yeah.
Does he still have that? Is he still seen
not
as a person of the Talakawas?
As before, but it's still there.
Should Tinubu be worried, politically speaking, about if Buhari is not on his side?
Yeah, you should be worried. Every number counts. Buhari has 1 vote. In fact, let me put it that, as controversial as you call me, Tinubu should also be worried about my position, because I have 1 vote for him. He doesn't have vote for me.
But if you look at it, there are those on the inside who said Buhari did not really support Tinubu, that in fact, there are those who are of the opinion that Atiku and Buhari work together for the 2023 election.
No.
Those are the political talks on the sideline around that 2023 election.
But you know that I should know better than you on that. I know the Buhari. If Buhari say he doesn't like you, he even shows it on his face. He's not the type of person that he will play double game. Maybe you could say he did not actively worked for him, but definitely he supported the president, and he has said the time without number. Buhari is that type of person that if he's not supporting him, he will say he's not supporting him. What will he lose by doing that? So it's just this side talk there. But I have not discussed with him, but I know that he supported. How could he allow?
You heard what Atiku said, that it's about the coalition.
He
said they are working on the coalition, and they are coming together.
But somebody there asked him whether their visit is related to that. He said no.
Yeah, no, I'm saying.
Or are you trying to twist it?
No, hold on. He said it. I'm saying that he has said that they're working on the opposition parties coming together.
Yes.
Now, the question I'd like to ask you is, you are a member of the ruling party, or you are planning to defect to this SDP?
No, not at all.
Or PDP?
No.
You're going back to PDP?
I was in PDP on sabbatical for only 2 years, I think, or 3.
Before you now moved
That
away.
was in 2010 to 2013, I left. I was on sabbatical.
Politically speaking,
yeah.
The talks about CPC arm of the APC wanted to move from the APC and defect to the SDP maybe. Does it worry you as a leader of the APC?
As I said, everyone matters. APC should be worried about what's going on, or at least they should not just brush it aside, as most or some of the leadership in the APC are doing. You can't do anything. No. Every vote matters.
But why would people want to move from the ruling party?
Yeah, of course.
What is going on the inside? Why?
Politics is about interest now. If people see that their interests will not be served very well in a particular place, they move. Especially in Nigeria, where politics is more of platform, not ideology. So people can move around, and it doesn't prick their conscience. But there are some people that are not even ready to move around. They stick to it. There are some people that have been in PDP since day one. They have never moved, like Bode George.
And like Nyesom Wike.
Yeah, Nyesom Wike has never moved, changed his party. But now, you can't say where he is.
Maybe he's APC.
APC, yeah.
Because he is in the
one
cabinet.
One leg is in PDP and the other leg is in APC. Yeah.
But you look at it, what do you think are the grievances of some people in the APC, making them think, having a double thought about?
Yeah, 2 years.
Why?
2 years. One of the biggest is 2 years into the government. Many people feel they have been abandoned. Like Erifai gave that an excuse that APC left him behind. While, and so many others too, looking at, what I know, you called me to discuss, like, showing appointments, opening up, having access, then carrying people along, feeling you belong. It's just down in the school. So people are not happy. Many people don't have access. I said it sometimes back. They didn't do something about it. Instead, they come back on the pages of newspaper and start abusing the messenger instead of addressing the message. The same thing that is happening in most of the things. And that's very, very dangerous.
Senator, if you were in the academia and you are lecturing, you probably were being a long-standing professor. And anything you say in your area of expertise would almost be seen as God.
They call it in Islam, wahi.
Yeah, because he's going to be a rock solid based on the experience. You spend a long time in politics, so you should know. If you look at the crystal ball, do you think Tinubu can have a comeback in 2027 with what is going on right now?
Yeah.
Your prediction, what is it?
That is if they work on it.
But things are not looking good right now.
Yeah, you know that. Circumstantially and also evidently. Why I say circumstantially is because there is a global down that contributes to the economic downturn, increase in inflation, the downturn in the value of naira. And then, if you look at from the presidency itself, being unable to carry people effectively, especially politicians, politically. And also, I said it here before, and I was really thinking whether I should say it again, even though I stand on it, that if you have aristocrats and kleptocrats dominating the democratic space, you'll have a problem.
Is that what is happening right now?
Yes, because the Democrats have been abandoned. I said it before, it costed me my job. And I don't know whether next now they will be expelled from the party for saying this.
Are you afraid of expulsion or suspension?
I'm not.
You've tested it before?
Yes, several times. I've been to prison two times for speaking the truth. 2 times.
So where are these kleptocrats? Are they around the system? President?
You know why?
Where are they?
Because things are not working, and many people are responsible for that. And if it's not working, who do you blame? Do you blame the president? No. It's not the president, it's the people around you.
And you call them kleptocrats?
Yes.
Meaning those who steal?
Yeah.
And they are stealing the nations, and is it that bad? These are the people who have been accused in the Buhari government.
No, it's not. When you say kleptocrats, it's not like they are stealing, no. They are in government to make money.
That's what is their focus on.
Yes. So most of the time, they don't care about what is actually going on. Their focus is what they can make.
Is Tinubu aware that he has kleptocrats
I don't know. I don't know.
Around him?
I don't know. Go and ask him. But I know what I'm saying. I said it before. I was removed as a result of that. I don't know what will happen again, but I know that there will be backlash. I don't care. I said it before when I was on Arise TV sometimes talking about some issues. I said it that attack dogs would come after me. And they did. Only one person that did not bite me, but 2 did.
Okay, we'll get that in a moment. But let me take you to your state, Borno State. You saw what Governor Zulum said.
Yeah.
And that comes from someone who has been to the battleground and he has also physically seen attacks. Is there anything to worry about? I thought that things are
I'm worried. I'm worried here. I'm worried. I told you sometimes back, remember when this White Rico was attacked and where we lost a major in Damboa, you know, from, you know.
Yeah.
So these things, and then last time they attacked Sabongari, displaced them, the governor called an emergency meeting of the expanded security. And what the governor said there is true. And he's so worried about it. He also came there just yesterday and called another emergency meeting for us to go and see those service chiefs. We visited the chief of army staff, we visited the chief of naval staff, we visited
chief of air staff.
Chief of air staff, we visited Minister of Works, and then he visited, that is after that, because it was evening and I was fasting, we had to excuse. He also visited Minister of Planning, all in the same day. Today, he went back. That was what brought him. And he called us and said, look, this thing is getting out of hand. What do we do? Let's go and talk to these service chiefs to see whether they can up their game to see. And this, to be honest with you, they are trying. But let me give you a sad thing that comes out of this. After the governor and our 8 emirs, all the service chiefs agreed that there is the need for him to come here, talk to those that matters in the area of security about the situation in Borno and the relapse and the such. And then the minister somewhere was saying that Nigerians should ignore Zulum. I felt very bad.
He said he did.
And this is part of what I call where you have kakitocrats in the system. If somebody knows what he's doing as a minister, he should be able to run to Zulum and ask for what he can do to assist him, not to just sit down in his comfort. In fact, I even understand that he's out of the country when he issued that statement that the governor should be ignored. How can you ignore the chief security officer of the state?
Well, he said that it was misinterpreted in what he said.
I hope so. But then, for me, he's not a minister of information. Instead, I think he should be called minister of misinformation.
I mean, is that fair to refer to him? That's not fair.
Okay, if you say so. But he misinformed people. So do I call him Minister of Information?
That is his title, that is his role.
Okay, but for me, he misinformed people.
But I mean, you look at it, Senator, the governor said there is some kind of diversion, well, not the word diversion may not be the right word, the taking of some of the equipment or some of the firepower to the northwest. Yeah. And these has reduced the kind of attention and the grip of the military in the northeast, especially in Borno State, that is receiving more of the heat from of these terrorists. What do we do then?
Yeah, no,
because the military is being drawn thin.
Yeah, and you know what? The good thing, as I said, after our visit yesterday, we were worried in the morning. We started the visit around 11 o'clock and we didn't round up until 5 with the governor. But when we met all the service chiefs, we left happy because actually we know on ground they are stretched. But despite that, they are putting in their best. The chief, and fortunately, all of them, I think, except maybe the Navy, I'm not sure, but all of them have been in the theater. So they know what the Boko Haram can do, and they know the operations there, and their response is very, good. But as I said, after complaining about the platforms, or especially with the Air Force, that we complained, the chief of
Air Staff.
The Air Staff promptly responded and assured us that, look, we move our assets and we assure you we are moving back those assets and even more. Because he told me there are certain things, especially like some of their attack helicopters, because of this problem of Ukraine and Russia, had issues, and because some of them are procured from there and their services are due. You can't just fly them over time. So now they are ready and they are back. And he even told us some of their pilots that were sent for retraining, they are already back. So they are going to be deployed even more, so there will be more firepower. And we had a very extensive discussion. And, that assures us, and I know what he's, and they have been trying. Let me say, because the 3 black spots that we have in Borno, that is the Sambisa Forest, the Mandara Mountain, and the Lake Chad fringes, have been severally attacked by, they carried out operations there. But the major problem is on the ground, we have limited soldiers in the theater. The theater is so vast. The whole operation in this country on the armed forces is being done by less than 300,000 people. And the army is operating all over the country. I don't think there are 2 states or more in this country that there is no army intervention. And the police, they are overstretched, maintaining civil discipline, and they are not.
But the president, part of his campaign promise is to get more boots on the ground.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what we are calling for. They should do that. They should recruit more, decentralize the recruitment, because one of the challenges they have when we were discussing, which I knew even when I was chairman army, is that we only have one training depot in Nigeria, and that is the depot training center in Zaria. Yeah. And the maximum it can accommodate after even stretching it is 6,000. And if you look at number 6,000 in 6 months, and these are people that will just come out fresh. You just don't send them to the, even though they do that, they deploy immediately after graduating, which is dangerous, which is not supposed to be. You have to give them other training outside the depot before you deploy them. So the main fundamental problem the Nigerian armed forces have is team, what I call team. Training, equipment, ammunition, and motivation. Can you imagine a private soldier after graduation is being paid 50,000 until recently with the increase in minimum wage, and I'm not even sure whether it has been implemented. The daily ration, when I was chairman Nigerian Army, we pushed. The President Buhari reviewed it to 5,000, but they are paid 1,500. The Nigerian Army did everything or armed forces to have this money increase, none. And worst of it, you understand? These people don't get their money as and when due.
I thought that they're supposed to be in the first line charge.
Yes, but they're not releasing the money on time. Tomorrow now they will come and argue on the TV again. But the truth of the matter is, it's not like that. The army are not being paid well. And then one other thing that is not helping matters. Nigerians are saying, oh, you are spending too much on a lot of... outside their salary and maybe uniform, everything you buy for the armed forces, and in fact other security agencies, is in dollars, their assets. One bullet, let's say it's 50 cents. How much is 50 cents in Naira now? Is it not 750 Naira? So if every bullet with 750 Naira, and you give one soldier and he discharges like 10 in an encounter, and it should be more, how much will it cost? Security is not cheap.
Let me ask you, Senator.
But let me
there's Memalari cantonment in the heart of Maiduguri. Yeah. And there are those who say, look, maybe the military should have more formation in and around the northeast. Do you think that will work?
Yeah, it will.
Because they need to have a foothold in some of these territories that are vast, and especially in these 3 areas that you have mentioned.
Buhari did, under Buhari, General Burete increased the number of divisions. Yeah. I think it was from 4 to 8. He doubled it, maybe. Yeah. Was it? And that's a good move. But the major problem, as I told you, is that there are not enough boots on the ground. That's why even if the Nigerian Air Force bombs the terrorist areas, some people must be there to hold ground. And you just don't expose them like that. Maybe they need like MRAP to go there and stay. And do you know how much one MRAP costs? Nearly 1 billion each. Because you buy in dollars. And they are not off the shelf item. You have to
procure and wait.
So you see the challenge they are facing? And the worst is, as I said, generals don't complain.
But, I mean, are there any major places or local government or villages that the Boko Haram is holding in any part of Borno State at the moment?
Yeah. 3.
And they have territories there. They're holding those areas.
Not as such. What we're saying is that there's no civil authority there, and the authority is Boko Haram. Three
of them?
Yes.
Which are these areas?
Gudumbari, Marte, and Abadam.
Yeah. No civil authorities there?
Yeah, none.
So Boko Haram is governing those areas. What about those ammunitions that are given to the locals?
Like Sabonga.
No, they are repentant Boko Haram members who are now being said to have like a local cover and protecting.
They are trying their best. Let me tell you, for example, my local government, which is one of the black spots, and Damboa local government, all are in my constituency. As I'm speaking to you now, the terrorists have dislodged the Nigerian army in Wajirko and Sabongari because that is their major route connecting Sambisa and the Mandara Mountain in my local government. And you know why that happened? It's because the brigade is in Damboa and they don't have enough boots on the ground, equipment on the ground, and the technology on the ground. Otherwise, before they come, they will be able to see them and they will be able to prepare and act appropriately. But as you see, when they try to stand them, then we incur casualties. From November last year to date, there were over 252 attacks in Borno State. And somebody is saying that they should ignore the governor. We have lost more than 100 soldiers. We have lost nearly 300 civilians. Even though our soldiers gallantly killed over 800 of the terrorists within this period.
But I imagine that from the report and what we see, that in the last almost 2 years of Bola Tinubu government, there is a lot of victories and a lot of grounds that are being covered by the military, and we thought that things have gotten better.
No, we can't say things are getting better. No, we can't also say things are getting worse. No.
Well, how would you describe the state of security?
That is the problem. It's like a stagnated situation. But because when you say, we are getting it right today, tomorrow you hear another thing. Just last week, even though this is a different issue, but in Plateau here, in Bokos, you can understand, it's just a challenge too. Lakurawa came later.
In Sokoto,
Kebi, Zebi. Even day before yesterday or 2 days ago, they attacked. That of Katsina is the same thing.
But if you are made the Minister of Defense today, what would you do? Would you do anything different?
But I can't do anything. The president is the chief commander-in-chief. That's why I say let the president forget about everything and concentrate on at most 3 things.
What are those?
Security, welfare of citizens, economy.
Is he not concentrating on those?
I don't know.
You are in this government?
Yeah.
So you don't know?
Even if he is, I'm saying that his attention should go there. That's number one.
All right.
And then, in fact, if it is possible, it should create state of emergency in those 3 areas.
Not in the states?
No, don't drag me into that.
No, I'm just asking a question, Senator.
No, I don't support creation of...
state of emergency?
Yeah,
even the one that happened in Rivers?
Yeah, I don't. I'm a Democrat. I don't. Because I believe, those are some of the few things that the president did that surprised me.
And you think that move was wrong?
Yeah. It was wrong. He feels, he's the president. I'm only a senator. I know that God gave him that power and he will not give him blank. He will give him the knowledge to preside over the affairs of the country. It's like a footballer and the spectator. I'm the spectator. He is the footballer. Normally, you can see even some people like you that watch football will even be moving, feeling that, he should have played it this way. So we are part of that. But other than that, I feel that as a president, you would have worked seriously on bringing them, solving the problem than...
But he said he has done that and they ignored him.
No, you can't. How can you ignore the president?
That's what he said. Now, when he said the parties involved had ignored them.
When he removed them now, did they ignore his removal? when he said you should remove him, and he brought it to the National Assembly.
You think the president could have been firmer? He could have been tougher on the situation, politically speaking.
Yeah. Call them, sit them down, and say, look, go and sort your problem. What is your problem? And that's why, you know, even though he doesn't have military background, that's how I give it. That's why I give it to Obasanjo. He warn you before he take action. Remember, he too, you know...
He declared state of emergency.
But after...
Similar to this?
No, not similar.
No, it's similar to it.
It was visible
in Plateau State, he did.
Okay.
You remember?
But that was wrong too. What is wrong is wrong.
Let's take a breather, Senator. And when we come back, there's a lot of backlash on statements made by Senator Ali Ndume about the appointments under Bola Tinubu and, in fact, what he said in terms of borrowings. There are those who believe in this government that Senator Ali Ndume wants to divide the nation and is unfair in his criticism of the situation. We'll be hearing from Senator Ali Ndume after this break, everyone. Join us again.
In a world of uncertainties, only the prepared thrive. Economic shift, policy changes, and market disruptions. Will your organization progress or struggle? Introducing Strategic Foresight, developing winning strategies for unparalleled value, happening 23rd to the 24th of April 2025 at Radisson Blu, Victoria Island, Lagos. Learn to anticipate challenges, seize opportunities, and drive long-term success. Led by global experts Dr. T.B. McClellan Jr., this immersive program will equip you with resilience, agility, and strategic insight. Register now. Early bird rate £1,500 before the 15th of March 2025. Secure your spot today. Call +44 7425 883791 or email exec@texem.co.uk. Your future starts now.
Thanks so much, everyone. The senator representing Borno South in the National Assembly, Senator Ali Ndume, is my guest on the program and will be speaking about the state of the nation and some issues relating to the affairs under the Bola Tinubu government. Senator, you have criticized the appointment under this government, and you said that, in your words, there are more Yorubas, and in fact, the Lagos part of the Southwest. But there are reactions, although the presidency has reacted to say your comment and your view about the situation is selective perception and headline chasing. Let me read to you what one of the president's spokesperson has said, and this is how they described you. They said, quote, Senator Ali Ndume's latest outburst on about so-called lopsided appointments by President Bola Tinubu reeks of hypocrisy and selective perception. In fact, they went further to say, if Tinubu and his surrogates choices are so tribal, how did the two of Ndume's kinsmen clinch NNPC top roles? How do you respond to this? Are you actually selective in your views? And are you up to dividing this nation with your rhetorics, according to them?
First of all, I really didn't want to overflog this issue or join issues because I've already said it. I have respect for Bayo Onaonaga, but since he went overboard, let me say one thing. He's just 2 years older than me. I don't know about his qualification, but I know he was a good journalist that spoke truth to power, that he had to even run away. So when somebody like me, who is a senator, speaks like this, then he uses the language, I can only say it's very unfortunate. But I have no reason to be, hypocritic, to be selective, or whatever he called me. Instead, he is the one. Because you know what? I have been a senator, this is the 4th time. He tried to be a senator, he could
16 years.
Yes. He tried to be senator, even at the first time, he couldn't make it. Who is more frustrated? He has ended up being a domestic staff of
He's
Mr.
not a
President.
domestic, he's a special advisor to the president.
Yeah, it's domestic.
That's a senior role. That's not a domestic.
No, even if he's senior, there is senior domestic servant.
No, how do you describe, is your judgment to be faulty in that line? Because domestic staff and an official capacity, they are different things.
No, domestic staff is private.
Yeah, but it's not a private staff of the president.
Domestic staff is personal, and he too is a personal staff of Mr. President.
No, it's an official.
Yeah, there's
an official.
Even those that they are in domestic, they are official.
And a senior one at that.
Yes, I agree. Though he is the senior domestic staff then.
But when you're talking about attack,
he called me. He started.
Who are the people?
No, wait now. I'm sorry about this. Maybe some others, but he started it. How can he call me what he described me? I'm beyond that. I still tell you here that I believe in Tinubu, and Tinubu and Buhari are those that made me to join APC. He was not there. When I used to go to Tinubu until lately, they don't stand where we sit.
But is it the truth, those they say
so let me
in
finish,
the corridor of power?
Let me finish.
And they say you are frustrated because you don't have access to the president.
No, I am not frustrated because of that. And let me tell you today, sometimes I try to stay away because, you know why? I respect Tinubu that much that there are certain things that I cannot say it to his face. But now they give me opportunity to say it. I don't have a problem with that.
What is it?
Huh? Anything.
What
anything.
Is it that you want to say?
Like now, we have this relationship that we will say, okay, look, don't talk again.
And will you listen? If Tinubu tells you
not
to
talk.
talk.
I will listen. Even now, somebody called me and said I should not talk again till after 90 days. I should cease fire. So I said, Oga, no, unless if I see something important, I will talk. You say, okay, but don't, fire too much. I say, okay. It's an elderly person, and you believe it. I will not tell you the name, but it's from Yoruba. And he agreed with that. Somebody like you, do you want me to mention others? I agreed that what I made, the observation I made are true.
They say your observations are incorrect and that they're not factual. But again, let me ask you, Senator, politically, are you threatened? No, because what we are hearing on the ground is maybe there is one of the advisors to president that is being prepped to replace you.
Who's that?
I don't know. You are on
No, I don't know. I don't know. And I'm not scared
Are you scared of Boala?
No. Boala?
Daniel Boala.
Boala cannot win House of Assembly member in my...
But if he's giving you a ticket, well, I mean, the ticket for...
Ticket is a different thing. Election is another thing. Boala tried to be a senator now. Did he get anywhere? I don't want to talk about Boala.
But who are you referring to as the attacked, or is it only Bayo you are referring to?
Boala is a MAGA dog.
What do you mean by that?
Check.
My English is not gotten up to that.
Check.
What do you mean by that?
Google MAGA dog.
Now, my Google isn't working at the moment.
Yeah, that's.
But is it fair now to refer to your kinsman as in that light? That's not fair.
Is it fair?
If they come after you, would you like it?
Who will come after me?
I mean, you said they came after you.
No,
and you were not happy in the manner.
No, they can. Tomorrow, Boala can come out. He did it before. These are people that abused people like Obasanjo, people like Reverend Martin Kuka, people like Wole Soyinka, people that are old enough, respected. Boala has insulted all of them, including the president. But he called president all sorts of names. So if he abuses Ndume, is it a new thing?
But the truth here is that your criticism about Bola Tinubu's appointment, they have said it's not true. And they have said also that your kinsmen, two of them, got appointment in the latest NNPC appointment.
No, let me tell you, my two people, this... one is, what is his name?
Kida.
Kida is close to me. He is an expert in the oil sector. And the president wants somebody for that. And he fits that. That is not the
could have been anybody from any part of the country.
Wait now. That is not the type of appointment I'm criticizing. If you are talking about merit as Bayo is trying to talk about, why don't they conduct exams or interview? Advertise for the job. I'm not talking about employment. I'm talking about political appointments, which the Constitution defines how it should be done.
If you are accusing the president of nepotism.
No, I'm not using that word. I don't like that word.
That is the interpretation of what you
That is
what
your
you inferred.
That is your interpretation.
You said they are lopsided.
Yes.
The
In fact, I'm calling,
lopsided.
wait now. I'm doing this to call the attention of Mr. President, and I'm happy. The only person that responded appropriately is Sunday Dare. And you know what? He is the one that knows, I know, that is closer to Tinubu. He was his press man, he was his chief of staff, and you could see his response. He tried to not insult me now, but come up with figures. He came out with the figures. Unfortunately, it was not comprehensive enough, and he withdrew that too. But I have my own here.
What are your own saying?
I have my own 72 so far, as I said. All of them are Yorubas. I'm not talking about north or south. No. All I'm saying is Section 14.3 is clear, and it says that the appointments into political positions or positions should be spread in such a way that no tribe. We remember, do you know that we have 371 officially recognized tribes in Nigeria? And not Yoruba is not two. Yoruba is one. Igbo one. Hausa one. And when you start talking about Hausa Fulani, number one, I'm not a Hausa man. Number two, I'm not a Fulani man. Number three, I'm not even a Kanuri. That is majority in my state.
What tribe are you?
I'm from, my tribe is so small.
You're a minority of the minority?
Yes.
What tribe are you?
So a man, Waha.
Waha.
Yes. A man who qualified to be senator. And by God's grace, I became a senator. I'm a senator by God's grace. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
But the Constitution says that everybody should have a sense of belonging. And you know why I came out with this? Because I'm thinking that the president is not quite aware of this. It's not deliberate. So now that 2 years into it, and I'm happy, Sunday Dare said, this is not the end of the appointments. The appointment is continuous. So for now, it's loop-sided. There's no argument about it. But it can be corrected, and it should be corrected.
Is there an undercurrent within your party which you are voicing, or is this a personal observation that you are making?
No, it's a personal observation as one, as a Nigerian, two, as a senator.
And you want the president to correct some of this?
Yes.
In the future appointments?
Yes. Sunday Dare said this is not the end of it. And I hope they will now take this or see this as a wake-up call to say, oh.
Buhari was criticized for nepotism because there are, in just a moment, in Buhari's government, most of security appointments or most of the service chiefs were said to have been from one region of the country. And Buhari was criticized heavily for that.
I criticized him on that. I even confronted him on that. Wazuri is that Buhari is alive is in Kaduna. And he gave me the reason. He said, look, Boko Haram has taken over your place. These people are qualified. I want to bring these people, Air Force, Army, and which other one?
Navy.
No, Navy was not from...
DSS?
Yeah, no, DSS
NIA.
was, but particularly these two, say, I want them to go and address this issue. And they are qualified. Can you bring Dume to go and be chief of army staff? No.
But equally people from the other region that
No, but look, I told you, and it was based on seniority.
So does it mean that nepotism
or
these lopsided things
see, that is, if we start arguing,
ingrained?
Here, let me call you out. A friend of mine sent me this. You know, I want to read out the list.
Okay.
That under the most attacked Buhari, this is what he sent to me. This is what the economic configuration looks like. Petroleum, Katsina Buhari, Minister of Coordinating Economy. On his appointment, he appointed that woman from Ogun, who is the coordinating and the minister. FIRS, He appointed Fowler from Lagos. Stock Exchange from Anambra, Custom from Bauchi, Nimasa from Rivers, Railway from Edo, NICTF from Anambra, Sovereign Wealth was from Imo, Economic Advisor was from Ogun, NNPCL was from Borno, Pencom, Kano, Bureau for Enterprise was from Ondo, Public Procurement was from Anambra, Accountant General was from Kano, and Airport Authority was from Katsina, and NIPOS from Oyo. Well, let me read out that of Tinubu now. Petroleum, he himself. Finance, is a Yoruba. CBN, is a Yoruba. Stock Exchange, is a Yoruba. Custom, is a Yoruba. Inland Revenue, is Yoruba. Pencom, is Yoruba. Nimasa, is Yoruba. Nigerian Railway, is Yoruba. NSITF, is Yoruba. NNPCL, is Yoruba. Accountant General, is Yoruba. Public Enterprise is Yoruba, Bureau for Public Procurement is Yoruba, Sovereign Wealth is Yoruba, NIPOS is Yoruba, and Federal Airports Authority is Yoruba. All I'm saying is, these people, whether you collect, you even appoint them from Lagos, that dominates the arena, that's not a problem.
Because the office that is largely responsible, that helps the presidency about appointments, just a moment.
The chief of staff is Yoruba.
The secretary of the government of the federation.
And Dare himself that responded to me is Yoruba. And Bayo Anonuga too, that called me name is Yoruba.
The SGF has been reacting, and this is what, in part, what the SGF has said. He said the government categorically refutes claims of lopsidedness and emphasizes its unwavering commitment to the principles of fairness, equity, and national unity. All appointments are made in strict adherence to the federal character principle as enshrined in Section 14 of the Constitution. He went further to say it is notable to mention that His Excellency President Bola Tinubu believes strongly in the unity of Nigeria and is guided by the ideas of fairness and tenets of justice in all appointment. This administration is dedicated to ensuring that all regions and demographics of the country are adequately represented in its institutions and agencies. The SGF went further to say his office therefore urges the public to disregard unfounded speculations and rely on official government sources for accurate information. The government remains steadfast and in its pursuit of a prosperous, united, and equitable Nigeria in line with the renewed hope agenda of this administration. Pokers of embers of hate and disunity who carry tendentious and unfounded allegations should never be taken seriously by Nigerians. Inquiries with respect to this matter can be channeled through the Office of the Secretary of the Federation, which is official custodian of such appointment. That is the reaction from the Office of the Secretary of the Government.
They have the right to do that, but it didn't change. Look, I presented figures here.
They say that whatever you have presented is unfounded.
The names that I called is not is unfounded.
Are you able to tell the president face to face about this?
No. As I told you, they make it impossible for you to see Mr. President. Not even me. I feel bad, honestly, when I have to say some of these things.
Politically speaking, what are the implications of this?
For me?
No, the access and the issues that are on the ground.
No, these people are making it a big deal. I have never. For me, I believe I'm even qualified for president to say, hey, last time, as I told you, he honored me by attending my daughter's wedding. And that day he said, if he was to travel to somewhere, if not, he said, I want to see you. So, but since then, I didn't hear from them. So what do I do?
Are you worried if there's a backlash on this, heavy than you have seen before?
Like what?
Politically speaking.
No, I don't know. Look, Seun, I've been a senator 4 times. And I've been in the House of Rep, 2 times. And I'm 65 years old.
So you are not afraid of anything?
Even death.
Senator, we are totally out of time. But thank you so much, Senator Ali Ndume, for coming tonight. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you are more controversial than myself.
The very controversial Senator Ali Ndume. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. That's our show for today. I'll see you on Sunday, God willing. God bless Nigeria.